Everyone, thank you for tuning in again to Ariadne's Quotes of Wisdom. We're here with episode 4, and today's quote is about a conductor, and it is very apropos that I come across this quote, and I am just going right down in order in my very first quote book. And it's funny because I'm conducting a concert tonight, and usually my music capacity is actually more on the private lesson side and some performing, but I did take on one small little band this year, and tonight is the conducting concert where I conduct the little band. I only had 2 conducting concerts, so it's kind of funny that today is the day of the conducting concert when the quote is about conducting and being a conductor of the orchestra. So for this particular quote, I personally find a couple different interpretations, a couple different ways to interpret this quote. The very first one is kind of a little bit on the more obvious side, where when somebody is a conductor and they have to first turn their back to the crowd, for a lot of musicians, turning their back to the crowd is kind of a little bit of an obvious choice, because to be a musician, you kind of have to go against the crowd, and you have to go against the grain in what a lot of people actually think that you should do, because a lot of musicians really find a lot of backlash from choosing to go into music. It's a societal pull to kind of really aim for more financial success and financial stability, and to choose jobs that really offer you a little bit more security and things like that. So I think a lot of people, when they choose music as their career, really feel a lot of backlash against that from their family and from their friends, and a lot of people, I think that that's the wrong choice. But yet it's really funny because I come across a lot of people who, when I tell them that I'm a musician, there are a lot of people who actually say, oh wow, I really wish that I would have stuck with music, or I really wish that I would have had the courage to major in music. That's what I really wanted to do, but I went against what I really loved and what I really wanted to do, and I chose to do something else, whether it was to be like an accountant, or go into the business world, or an insurance agent, or a nurse, or a lawyer, or whatever. That they chose a different path, just be more because of the financial security than anything. And a lot of people kind of go against their passion in order to choose the financial stability and what they think that another job might provide them. So I think that is one of the more obvious purposes and reasons and interpretations behind this particular quote. And another one, I think, though, is that a conductor is the one who is a little bit more behind the scenes, even though that they are in front of the orchestra, and they do turn around eventually at the end of the piece, and they receive their accolades, and the audience claps for them, and they are recognized. I think that they don't get still as much credit as they should, and I don't think that an audience, even the most seasoned audience and concert goer, really understands what an orchestra conductor's position is and what their role is, and how much they actually really orchestrate, pun intended, in an orchestra, and what an orchestra can really go from and to between the time that they actually sit down to sight read a piece and what the finished product is. And I really think that it really takes an actual orchestral musician to understand the role of the conductor and how much they actually bring together, and the sensitivity that requires. And I think that it takes a special personality to be a conductor, because even though you do have your egotistical conductors, I also think that it also takes a bit of a humble person as well, because they really do a lot of behind the scenes things that I don't think get recognized quite as much as particularly, soloists and things like that. Or even like the concertmaster, because I feel that they don't get the credit for the actual music that's being produced. I think a lot of people just see them as somebody who just waves their little magical wand, and that, the orchestra is just following this person who's just keeping them together, rather than all of the little subtle nuances that they actually bring together. So I think that they have to turn their back against the crowd, knowing that they will not get nearly as much credit for the amount of work that they're actually putting into their job. And I think that that really takes a special kind of person to continue to do what they do without the amount of credit that they really truly deserve from, the masses. And that's true of a lot of jobs that are out there. There's so many jobs and careers out there that the job that they have orchestrates so many different things and really pulls together so many resources and, coordinates so many different things, and they don't get the respect and they don't get the recognition and all of the things that they really truly deserve. So I think that particular quote also speaks to a lot of people and certain jobs as well that specifically have that type of a feel to them. So I really think that there's a lot of different layers to this particular quote that can resonate with a lot of different people. And I also think too that, just in order to be different, to be true to yourself and to be who you are and to dare to be different, to stand out, that you have to go against what the commonality is and what is, not unique in this world, what is common, and to dare to be unique, that you have to go against the crowd. You have to dare to do that. And in order to achieve a level of success, and to be noticed, that you have to turn your back on the crowd and the commonplace and not try so hard to fit in, but to actually try to stand out a little bit more in order to, to be the lone person up there. The conductor is only one person, with the orchestra on one side of him that are all kind of fitting together as a puzzle piece, and the crowd on the other side of him that is all fitting together like a puzzle piece, all one crowd. And then the crowd of musicians on the other also that are in front of him, and he's kind of standing between the two, and he's standing up there like, a lone soul. And I think that everybody needs to do that as well if they want to stand out as well and be their own unique human being and their own individual as well. So I think and even though those particular interpretations that I just gave are almost contrasting, that's one of the beauties of quotes, is that I think everybody also kind of has their own interpretation, and that's what I want to kind of pick apart and dissect here, is a lot of the different ways that these quotes can even be interpreted. That language is semantics, and sometimes just even one word can be taken several different ways just by the tone of voice that people use, just by the context of things. So even the same is true of quotes, is that what seems so obvious and so literal sometimes can really be taken and construed very differently. So that's why I kind of like to think about quotes even, and how they can be used in different manners, and kind of deconstruct them and see what we can come up with. So I hope you have thought about and liked my different interpretations, and please feel free to leave me a message, as to your thoughts. And if you have your own interpretations too, I would really love to hear them. I'm always open to new suggestions. I love a different, intelligent point of view, and love to engage in different discussions. Signing off for today. Hope you have a great day.